You ever wonder why it feels like you give, but you never receive that same energy back? You ever wonder why people treat you a certain way or talk to you a certain way that you know they would not treat someone else or talk to someone else like this? And you're like, but why do you do that to me? You ever wonder why you can literally tell someone, I don't like when you do this thing or this thing bothers me, and they can still do the same thing again and again and again to you, even though sometimes they may say, oh, I'm sorry for doing it, they keep doing it. It is probably because these people do not respect you. So that is what we are going to talk about in this video. We are going to talk about how you are going to start getting respect from individuals that are inside your life, because it feels like right now ain't nobody giving it to you, and that's honestly, in my opinion, no way to live. The first one is, instead of telling people what to do, state what you are going to do or what you are not going to do. The problem that I think a lot of people don't understand is, when you tell someone what to do, stop doing this thing, or you need to start doing this thing, it causes a power shift. And if you are not seen in the eyes of that individual to be more powerful than them, it is going to cause kind of like a friction. And let me explain this so it makes a little bit more sense. If you have, let's say, more money than them, higher status than them, something that they deem to make them respect you, they're actually not going to do that thing by their free will. Because if you think about it, if an employee tells another employee to do something, we're both the same level. If I don't want to do that thing, I'm not going to do that thing. Now, if a manager tells an employee to do something, then they are going to do that thing. Why? Because there is a different power dynamic. So literally, when you tell people what to do, I want you to understand you are kind of putting yourself in front of them. It is not you being rude or disrespectful. It's just a power shift. You're shifting yourself to be in power. And unless that person sees you as someone being in power, they're probably not going to listen to you. But you don't have to be in power. What you need to just do is, instead of telling them what to do, you need to tell them what you are going to do or what you are not going to do. For example, instead of telling that man, stop DMing them girls, stop hurting my feelings, stop doing this thing, tell him, if you DM another girl, I'm leaving. If you DM another girl, be specific. I'm getting my clothes and I'm moving out. Like, tell them what you are going to do or what you are not going to do. Because I want you to understand, you can only control yourself. A lot of times, too, I want you to get, if you want respect from other people, you have to make them know that you respect yourself. And so you keep telling these people, don't do this or do this or do that. Stop telling them. Unless you are in higher power than them, they're not going to listen to you, because they're, whether they acknowledge it or not, right? Some people even may say, well, I'm going to stop doing it, or I apologize. But in the back of their mind, they're going to subconsciously say, who she thinks she is, who they think they are. They're not bossing me. I could do what I want to do. Unless, I said before, there's a power dynamic shift. Unless you are seen as to be more powerful than them, it's going to be like an employee telling another employee what to do, and that person doesn't want to do it. It's probably not going to happen, even though towards your face they may say, I'm going to do it. They're probably not. So that's the first thing I want you to get and understand. The next one is, stop avoiding everything that you perceive to be conflict. A lot of people may not respect you because they don't look at you as being able to stand on your own 2 feet. There are some individuals in my life that I don't really have, not that I disrespect them, but when it comes to their opinions of things, I don't have that much respect for, because they never go against the grain. Like, they can have a conversation with someone and be like, I don't like this thing, I don't like that thing, this, that. Someone else can come and say, well, I like this thing. And they're like, oh, well, that thing is not that bad. Why? Because they perceive it to be a conflict. First and foremost, I want you to understand, you do not have to agree with everyone to make them respect you. Honestly, in my opinion, people respect you more if you can stand on what you say. And then sometimes you could say, well, this is how I feel about this, or this is why I feel about that. If it is that, kind of conversation, I'm not saying you have to fight for your life with every single thing. But there are a lot of people who perceive every type of back and forth to be conflict. So they try not to have any kind of back and forth conversations. So first and foremost, this causes them to bottle up their emotions. And then also at the same time, too, other people don't respect you because you're a yes man. You're going to say yes to every single thing. And also, people are going to use this to their advantage. They're going to know that you say yes to every single thing. So either they're not going to respect you at all, in a way of like, I don't care what she say. Like, she could say this, but I could get her to say that. or they're going to use it to their advantage of getting you to do things that they possibly don't want to do, or getting you to do things that just benefit them, because they're going to know this person will never say no to me. This person is never going to go against me. Even if deep down inside they don't agree with me or they don't think this is the right thing, I know that they perceive everything. They're afraid of conflict and they perceive everything, any kind of back and forth, as being conflicting. And I think, especially as becoming an adult, that's something a lot of people need to work on. It's okay to have a back and forth conversation. It is okay to have a different opinion than someone. Like, I think nowadays there's this thing, and I think especially because social media, right? If you have an opinion about something, your algorithm only shows you that thing. And so as soon as someone else comes and they have a different opinion, it becomes disrespectful. It doesn't have to be disrespectful. This is what we do as adults. We banter back and forth. We've had different upbringings. We've had different lives. So we have different opinions about things. But I promise you, there's so many adults that I know other people don't respect them because they can't stand on their own 2 feet. And the source of it is they perceive everything to be conflict and they shy away from conflict. So they're always going to be the yes man. They're always going to try to say the right thing the right way. And it just doesn't work out in the long run. The next one is keeping a calm face and or calm emotions when there is any kind of conflict. This one is imperative, especially as women. It's so crazy. On TikTok, I saw a girl talking about how one of the things her dad taught her was not to try not to cry when she is having any kind of conflict with someone. Now, I'm not telling you to bottle up your emotions, but her dad was telling her, which I completely agree, don't cry because this causes a power shift. Think about when a baby is crying. You feel bad for the baby. Are you okay? You're trying to do anything to appease the baby. And I think sometimes too, you get into conflicts, especially as women. We could just be honest, it's just in our hormones, our genetics, we're more emotional. But one thing I've had to do is, and not trying to like bottle my emotions and be a rock, but when I'm having a conversation with someone, when I'm trying to get someone to understand what I'm saying, especially if there's some kind of conflict, try to have a straight face and try not to cry and be too emotional, because that person is going to feel bad for you. That's what you've done. You've made yourself into the baby of the conversation. That person feels bad for you. So they're less likely to truly say how they feel, and they're less likely to really respect anything that you're saying, because when they're talking to you, all they're thinking of is, how do I get her to stop crying? And that is a major one. I think a lot of women need to understand. I've seen conversations with women get emotional, right? The conversation was like a back and forth, and then the woman gets emotional. And I've seen men or sometimes other women kind of try to appease them in some way, or they get really disrespectful because now it's like, okay, they're looking at you as less than. And so I think that's another thing a lot of women need to try to do. And like I said, it's not about bottling up your emotions. It is okay to be emotional, but when you are standing on what you are standing on, when you are trying to communicate how you truly feel, try best to have a neutral face and to keep your emotions in. And then, you could cry or whatever, but at that time period, try to just stay neutral. I definitely think that will work and be beneficial. The next one is walking confidently. So this means with your shoulders back, this means with your head straight, but it also means not taking strides that are too long or strides that are like too little. This is so imperative. They actually did a study on this with prisoners. They've done multiple studies on this, and they've showed prisoners just like camera footage of random people walking outside in public, and they've asked them before. Mind you, these are prisoners who were in there for, abuse and attacking people, different things like that. And they've asked them before, if you had to pick someone to attack, who would you pick? And of course, sometimes there's like random people that get picked out, but there's been multiple times where prisoners have picked the same exact person. These are prisoners who don't know each other, sometimes in different jails. They've picked the same exact couple of people. And when they asked them about why did they pick those people, they said essentially they look weak. And a lot of times they said things like that. The person had their head down, or the person, was kind of hunched over, or the person had strides that were very long. They just had things about them that showed that they were very uncomfortable. And I think, especially being a woman, we are more susceptible to different things like this, to being attacked. And I'm not saying I don't want to victim blame. I want to say this to say I don't want to victim blame, but as a thing of garnering respect and a thing of also sometimes garnering protection for women, walking confidently, learning how to walk confidently is so imperative because I want you to really understand a lot of these individuals who attack women, the reason why they attack women is because they perceive us to be weak. Let's just think about it. Who are the most common individuals who are attacked? It is women, it is children, and it is elderly. Why is that? Because most people attack people who are weak. Most people who attack people, they're not going to attack someone who is bigger than them. They're not going to attack individuals who they perceive to be a threat. They're going to do it to who they perceive to be weak. And I hate to be that person that's like, like you need to act like this as a woman. But just walking confidently is so imperative to how people perceive you. And it can also be very imperative to your safety. So trying to walk confidently is something that you definitely should learn. And I definitely recommend like going on TikTok or anything and just looking more into that, especially if you're someone that feels like you walk kind of scrunched up or, you don't walk confidently. I definitely would say that because it can sometimes be a safety thing, but also it can be a respect thing, just how people perceive you at first glance. The next one is stop using minimizing language. The language that you use a lot of times shows the confidence that you have and how you feel about yourself. And a lot of times people play off that. People perceive you to be confident, they treat you as such. People perceive you not to be confident, they will treat you as such as well. So stop using language such as just, sorry, I apologize, especially when it's something that you should not be apologizing for. Like you will walk in on someone, right? You have to tell your boss something, knock on their door. Sorry to bother you. I just, sorry. Why are you like, why are you apologizing? Why do you feel like you're bothering this individual? But we kind of try to go into it minimizing ourselves. We feel like I don't want to bother this person, or I've even had to before rewrite text messages that I'm sending to someone, especially when it's something that you're not sorry for. I've had to tell people, I can't come to your birthday party or I can't come to this event. Why do I have to apologize though? I can't come to this event. Something came up. Or, hey, I know I was supposed to go to your party, but you know, um, my mom is coming into town and I'm hanging out with her. Stop saying sorry all the time. And hearing that, it sounds like something where you should apologize because you said you were going. No, you shouldn't. There's something that came up. You because what are you saying? If you say sorry, the way I perceive it is, I really don't want to hang out with my mom, but I have to do it. Like that's like a sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm excited. My mom's in town. I want to hang out with my mom. I haven't seen her in a while. Stop always using minimizing language. Oh, it's just I need you to help me move. Can you help me move or can you not? Like, and don't get me wrong, I know that second one kind of came off a bit aggressive, but stop using minimizing language. Stop minimizing the things that you want. Stop minimizing yourself because a lot of times, too, when you minimize things, people perceive it as it's not that big of a deal. And so when you're like, oh, can you just help me do this thing? This person is like, oh, well, they may not really need it or they may not need me right now. And so they take their sweet time and they're not that cognizant like this thing is that important. But to you, it is, but you came in on a minimizing type. Can you please do this and can you, sorry to bother you? And it's like that's how they're going to treat you. So that's something I definitely recommend to help people respect you more in your vocabulary when you're texting, when you're talking. Try your best not to use minimizing language, and it's going to cause you to kind of reword your conversations and things. Trust me, it definitely has happened to me before, but it just makes things come out a lot more confidently. The next one is when you are telling someone how you feel, give them specifics. Now, I am not a big advocate of, over explaining yourself. Oh, well, I'm doing this, because of that, because I think that also lowers your credibility. And I'm going to talk about that in the next section. But when you're telling someone how you feel, your feelings, give specifics. Don't just say you hurt my feelings. Don't just say you made me, feel this way. Give them specifics. You hurt my feelings when you did so and so and so and so. You hurt my feelings when you said this or said that. The problem also is because it's happening to us and we're experiencing it, we assume everybody experiences life the same way as us. And sometimes there's people who are hurting your feelings. They're doing things to make you sad. But they don't even know it. They literally don't even know what telling them. And so you might say you're hurting my feelings, but they're kind of like looking at everything they do. They don't even understand the specifics. And so it's kind of like telling someone, you hurt my feelings. D- Am I supposed to change everything I say to you, everything about our relationship? Like, give them specifics. You hurt my feelings when you say this, that to me. You make me sad when you do this. You make me happy when you do this. Give specifics to individuals, because I think also, too, sometimes we have to understand people are living life in their own little, it's kind of like a Sims character. Like, we're all like, I know this kind of sound crazy, but we're all like little Sims characters experiencing life. And sometimes that other character does not know that something they're doing is hurting you. And so it's not saying they don't necessarily have respect for you, but if no one in their life has told them, hey, I don't like this thing, I don't appreciate this thing, they may not see it as disrespect. Now, it becomes disrespect when you tell them exactly what they're doing, exactly how it's making you feel, and they keep on doing that thing. And then that's when it's getting into the first thing that I said. Tell them, what you're going to do. Stop always telling people, oh, do this, do this, do that. Tell them, if you keep doing this, I'm going to do that. But when you're telling them that thing, give them specifics. What are they specifically doing? And how is it specifically making you feel? And what are you going to specifically do if they don't stop doing that thing? Now, the next one I'm gonna get into, as I said before, is going into, first and foremost, do not over explain yourself, because I want you to understand this is not you trying to get more respect from them. This is you trying to get more respect for yourself. This is you trying to reason why you are doing this thing. And going back to the analogy of not being able to go to someone's birthday party because your mom's in town, it should just be, hey, sorry. See, I'm so used to it. Don't say sorry. Hey, I can't come to your birthday party because my mom's going to be coming in town and we're going to dinner. Or my mom's going to be in town or something like that. Do not go into, I can't come to your birthday party because my mom's coming into town. I haven't seen her in 2 months and I want to spend time with her because she's getting surgery on her foot and I know she's going to be on bed resting. Don't do all of that. And a definite way that I would say not to do that is, I wish I knew the specific term for it, but there's a term basically states, just repeat what you said. Do not say anything else. Just repeat what you said. So, for example, you may say, hey, I can't come to your birthday party anymore. My mom's coming into town, or I'm going to dinner with my mom. If they say, oh, you don't think you can leave a little bit early? Like, leave her dinner a little bit early? No, I can't. My mom's going to be here. Or I can't. We're doing dinner together. Then they're going to say again, oh, well, I mean, do you think you can push it up until lunch instead of doing dinner? No, I can't. Me and my mom are going to be spending time together. Essentially, do not, what most people do is they start getting into, no, I can't. I'm not going to see her for how long? No, I can't. I'm moving soon and I don't know when I'm going to see her anymore. Stop giving people more information. Literally repeat what you said, but just move the words around. Do that 2, maybe 3 times the most. If they're still not getting the message, they don't respect you regardless anyway. And that's another thing you have to understand. With you constantly giving more information, it's not going to make them respect you more. Especially, one thing I've come to understand being an adult and having friendships, if someone respects you, they're going to respect you. There's not one thing you can do, well, unless it's something crazy, but there's usually not one thing you're going to do that is going to make them disrespect you and disregard everything. And I think a lot of times we think that. But I want you to understand, if you are a good friend day in and day out, you are a good girlfriend day in and day out. If you can do one little thing, such as not be able to go somewhere or not be able to do something, and this person can disregard everything you've ever done for them, or you guys have built together, or the entire relationship, they didn't respect you to begin with. And they were waiting for you to do something to show you how much they didn't respect you. Because I know I'm a good friend. I know that if I tell my friend I can't do something, it's genuinely because I can't do that thing. I'm not making up something. I'm not going to lie. I genuinely can't do that thing for whatever reason. Like, I'm not going to say my mom's coming to town and she's not. If that individual is like, oh, well, Shamaya's not a good friend, and Shamaya's this, Shamaya's that. Oh, you didn't respect me to begin with. You're using all of this as an excuse. And so I want you to also understand that too. Stop giving more information so people can respect you more because they didn't respect you to begin with. So there's literally nothing you can say that will make them respect you, respect your decision more if they didn't respect you to begin with. And that's what another thing I've been doing, like letting the cards fall as they may. I want to see people's true colors when I stand on what I stand on. The next one is wearing clothes that fit you and that you are essentially comfortable with. Now that I've gotten older, one thing I've definitely been getting into more is like tailoring my clothes, like getting my jeans tailored, different things like that. This is important because a lot of times people would tell you dress a certain way and, have the clean girl aesthetic or like this grown girl aesthetic. But that is not comfortable for everyone. And I'm going to be honest, that aesthetic is not completely comfortable for me. Don't get me wrong. Be cognizant that people are going to treat you a certain way a lot of times because of how you dress. But at the same time, we all don't have to look like robots and dress completely like each other. And I think what messes up a lot of women is they dress a certain way because they think they're going to garner more respect like that, but the clothes do not fit them and they're not comfortable in that clothing. And so I first and foremost want you to wear clothes that you are confident in and that fit you. Like that's one of the biggest things because I want you to understand there's this mindset, right? There's this thing that we don't even think about. It's very subconscious when we look at someone, when the clothing does not fit them well, our perception of them changes. And of course, too, it is what they're wearing. But a lot of times, too, people don't understand it's how you're wearing some of these clothes. Like you don't feel comfortable in that kind of outfit. You don't feel, and it shows. And going back to what I said before with the prisoners, when individuals can look at you, first glance, they're making an assumption about you. And for example, right? Think about it like this. If you were to see somebody with pants that were all balled up and scrunchy, if you were to see somebody with a shirt that was all balled up and scrunchy, your first perception is that person look crazy. That person don't take care of themselves. That person, you don't know nothing about that individual. Now, if you were to see someone else who pants were ironed, whose shirt was ironed, you would just walk past them. You wouldn't even notice them. And so I want you to understand sometimes people get disrespect. And I'm not saying that it's okay, but people get disrespect because they literally look crazy. Like I think that's the easiest way to say it. Sometimes people literally just look like, what girl, why is you wearing that? Why is you, and it's not even what you're wearing. It's because those clothes do not fit you. And I think that's something we need to talk about a bit more. People are always talking about a certain aesthetic and a certain look. My thing is do what makes you feel comfortable. Do what makes you feel so you can walk confidently, so you can have your head up high and your back straight. But like everybody don't got to be in a grown woman aesthetic. Like I had to learn that by myself. I tried that whole aesthetic. It's certain things I like about it, but it's just certain things that don't fit for me. Like now in my era of, I don't know, I kind of want to do like the 2016, the pump stiletto heels. Like I've really been into that lately, buying some of those. That is the opposite of like the clean girl. That's like more of the, anyways, we're not gonna do that for this video. But I say all that to say wear clothes that fit you because it makes people respect you more at first glance, contrary to wearing clothes that do not fit you well, or clothes that you are not confident in wearing, but you just feel like this is the aesthetic that garners respect. And the final one, of course, is make sure that you respect yourself. I think for some people that might be a duh, but I've heard people talk about that before, like, respect yourself and get respect for yourself. And one of the ways I've learned to do that is doing things in quiet, doing things for yourself that show yourself, I care about you and I love you no matter who does not care about you and who does not love you. I think when every single thing you do has to be publicized, every single happy moment that you have to share it. You are sharing that happiness. And so you can't even wholeheartedly have anything for yourself because you're sharing everything. Now, I'm not the advocate of, oh, keep everything to yourself and don't tell nobody nothing. I don't think that that's even good for us as a species. Like, we're very communicative type. That's not a word, sorry, but we're very group type species. Like, we do better when we're in groups. We do better when we're together. So don't get me wrong with that. But I think sharing everything that you do just kind of takes away from the experience for yourself. And so I think starting to do things for you, and it's like, I just want to do this thing. I just want to go to this place and I don't have to post it or I don't have to tell people. I think it helps you build a better relationship with yourself and starting things and doing things for yourself. And then sometimes too, it's just like we want to share it because we subconsciously want someone to agree with us or we want someone to support us. But it's like you also need to start supporting yourself and like starting to do a business or starting to go back to school or just starting things without having other people say, oh, that's a good idea or that's great. Like doing these things and saying, dang, I really made this decision by myself. Dang, I really did this thing by myself. And then at the end, you want to share, whatever. But I've learned to do that. Like, I've really had to get respect for myself, and I do that by just doing things for myself that I don't share with everyone, that everyone doesn't know, and it makes me require respect from other people more, I definitely could say, because it's like I care about me so much. I care about what I do that now I don't even allow people in my life that don't respect me as much, I've noticed, because I've geared up more respect for myself. But I had to do it behind closed doors. I had to do it with things that I was proud of that I didn't share as soon as I found out about it, or started things that I didn't share until, it was really some solid foundation or things of that sort. And like I said before, I'm not trying to tell you to be isolated and don't tell anyone nothing, because I know some people do say that, but that's not realistic either. Like, we still want human connection. We still want to experience things with other people. But I think learning the balance between having things that you share with some people and then having things that you keep for yourself is very imperative. Now, thank you so much for watching my video. Of course, as I said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you prefer the audio version, I also come out with new podcast episodes every Tuesday. They are just the audio versions of my YouTube videos, so you can go below for that. And next Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, which will be July 21st, I will be having my next live event. If you're not familiar with the events, they are essentially, you guys email me with advice. They are 100% anonymous, and I just answer them on live. Anything that you're specifically going through that you feel like I don't touch upon or you may need help with, you can go below in the advice email and send that in. And please, in like the caption, can you write advice, just because it helps sort them out better. But thank you guys so much. And I think that's about it. Go below, follow my TikTok, and sign up for my newsletter. And everything that I have going on will definitely be in the caption below. So thank y'all so much. And subscribe and comment. And like I said before, anything helps. A fire emoji, a unicorn emoji. Tell me what you're going through. Or anything that you learned from this video. Or anything that you feel like this video helped you with. So thank y'all and have a great one. And of course, don't forget to come back for new videos every Sunday and every Wednesday. Thank you all.